Hi, I'm Traci Szymanski and I run CoStar Entertainment. I had a really good life growing up. I don't have any horrible, bad stories. My parents are still married, 45 years. I grew up in West Hills, California, so, right outside of LA. My dad was an LAPD officer. So that I guess, comes with something, being the daughter of a police officer. People were careful around me. People were nice around me. But I think mostly I was a good kid. I was a fairly good girl. I didn't do anything horribly wrong. I have one older brother. As girly as I am, I grew up somewhat of a tomboy. I love sports, and I grew up playing sports and played softball through high school, and I WWE wrestled. Well, at the time it was WWF, but I wrestled with my brother and his friends, and I could take them down, like my older brother and his friends, and I was like a great WWF, at the time, now WWE wrestler. Being from LA, people think it's natural that you're in the entertainment industry, but it's really, most people that I grew up with did not go into entertainment. Nobody in my family is in entertainment or working around entertainment or celebrities. I think I just had the weirdest memory that it might have been that nobody's gonna know what this show is, but Fergie, who was Stacy at the time, was on a show called Kids Incorporated. And I loved that show, and I think at that time was the first time I thought, I wanna do something with that show, be with that show, be on that show, work on that show, do something. By the time I was in college, I knew I belonged in entertainment, but I had no idea what that meant or what exactly that would be. Probably the thing I thought that I would do most would be to produce feature films. So I went to college in San Diego, went to film school, which is actually a good program. They get a bad rap because it's San Diego State as a party school, but they had a really good film program at the time. And while I was in college, I worked everywhere. I went to all the studios, to all the agencies, to all production companies, everywhere you can imagine in entertainment, figuring, well, I'll build myself to be very well-rounded, to be experienced in any field so I can do everything. I knew Rick Dees' son, and Rick Dees at the time was like the biggest radio on-air personality probably in the world. And they got me a job at Kiss FM, which was the top pop station in the world. And through that opportunity, I think it led to so many things. I mean, that's when I really started working with a lot of celebrities, with music artists. At the time, pop was huge, so I was running around with all the pop stars. By the time I had graduated college, the day I graduated college, I was hired by the biggest music manager at the time to open up his West Coast office. And at the time, he had Britney Spears at the height of her career and NSYNC, and I was working really behind the scenes on management. After 2 years with him, I left and started my own management company and was managing music artists and writers and producers, and then got to a point where I don't want to be tying people's shoes for the rest of my life. And really, when you're managing, sometimes it is that you're managing people that are 10, 20 years older than you at the time, and grown men who can't figure out how to tie their shoes. So at that point, I decided I'm not meant to be a manager, but I will start my company to be utilizing celebrities for whatever I'm doing and working with a variety of different types of media. So whether it's radio, TV, film, live events, ad campaigns. I really at that point I already had the knowledge to do almost anything. And so I changed my company to be, I'll decide what projects I want to do, and then I'll go to what celebrities or what talent I need for those projects. And it made much more sense. Then if I don't like somebody, if somebody's not a good person, a good-hearted person, I don't want to be around them, I don't want to work with them, I don't want to be forced to work with anybody. So now it's like I choose who I work with. So the beginning I don't think was easy. It's not like I was making tons of money and so successful immediately. I mean, it takes building a company, and most importantly in this business is building relationships. That's the most important thing in any business. One of the most important things is being able to trust the people around you, and me trusting people and people trusting me. And it was about spending many years just building those friendships and relationships so that people trust that whatever I'm doing with them, whatever I'm bringing them into, I have their back. I think it was somewhat of a natural fit eventually for poker and celebrities to merge. One of my partners at the time, Hollywood Nights, had somehow met somebody at Poker Stars and they wanted to bring celebrities into things. And then it almost never stopped. There was a slight pause during Black Friday, but it's very natural, I think, to mix the celebrity and poker world. I think it's something fun. It adds some spice into the mix, you know, because poker can be very calm and boring from the outside. And I think celebrities brighten up a room. Like, they come into a room, they add something different. It's not just the typical, not to stereotype, but it's not the typical poker player just sitting there. It's like some of them come in as entertainers and can be entertaining or funny. And I think celebrities like to play poker. It's social, it's competitive. I mean, one of the reasons I like to play poker, and I don't play on this level, is I'm competitive. I love sports. I'm not going to be able to compete in baseball or football or basketball or any other really physical sport at this point. But as a female that's over 25, I can sit down at a poker table and compete with anybody of any type, size, shape, experience. Maybe I'm not gonna, actually I have a good track record of final tabling at celebrity charity events, but anybody can compete in poker. And I think it's the same thing with celebrities who maybe are competitive and like the competitiveness of it, like the social, and they can be any shape, size, height, form, and come out and play against the best. I love doing what I'm doing. I love most of the people who are around me. There's a few that I can't control that are there, but I keep them as distant as possible. I want to continue doing what I'm doing. I also help, on the charitable side, I'm helping raise money for so many different important causes. I'm utilizing poker and working with celebrities to make a difference and raise money for charity. So I have to continue that for the rest of my life, no matter what. That's always going to be a goal, whether it's doing it through poker or some other sport or activity to help charities. My life goal is a feature film that I want to make this year, hopefully this year. That if I accomplish that in my life, I'm good. I can live with that. I can be happy. I can be proud of what I've done. So sometime in the near future, I am making that film.